I tested my husband by saying I got fired. But what I overheard next changed everything. When I told my husband I'd been fired, he didn't hug me. He didn't even flinch. He just slammed his laptop shut and hissed, "Of course, you got fired. Maybe? Now you'll learn your place." I stood frozen in my work clothes, purse still on my shoulder, while he glared like I'd just ruined his perfect life. But here's the truth. I hadn't been fired at all. I'd been promoted. For years, I'd carried our household while he played the big man with his construction projects. I knew he had an ego. But that night, I realized I was married to something colder. I didn't argue. I just said nothing. I let him rant about how I never contributed anything real, how I shuffled papers while he built things that mattered. Then he stormed off to the couch like he was the victim. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every cold look, every lie I'd brushed off. The secret phone calls, the late nights, the way he'd stopped looking me in the eye. I needed proof, and I got it sooner than I expected. The next day, I stayed home pretending to be that sad, helpless wife he imagined. Around 2 p.m., the front door opened. Not just him, his mother was with him. I hid in the hallway, heart racing. She believes it. His mother asked completely what he said. She thinks she's worthless now. She'll have no choice but to agree to sell the house. His mother laughed. That cold, sharp laugh that always made my skin crawl. I told you she was too ambitious for her own good. Now she's stuck. She fold, he said. Like my life was a cheap tent. He could collapse whenever he wanted. Then his mother asked about her. The other woman, the one I hadn't known about. The one who apparently had a baby. The baby my husband planned to adopt once I was gone. She's ready, he said. Once the divorce is final, we'll be a real family. My hands were shaking so hard I had to bite down on my knuckle to stay silent. They thought they'd trapped me, that I'd beg for scraps, that I'd disappear while they built their shiny new life in my house. That night, he sat me down like an actor playing sympathetic. Dim lights. 2 glasses of wine, fake concern dripping from his voice. "I think it's best if we both move on," he said. "You're not working now. I'll help you get on your feet. Let's just keep it clean. No lawyers." I nodded, playing small. I let my lip tremble. I let him believe his performance was working. The next morning, while he snored on the couch, I met with the best lawyer in town. I brought receipts, literal receipts, and of every dollar I'd put into that house. Every remodel, every fixture, every payment. He thought I was powerless, that I'd walk away with nothing. But the second I served him those papers, his mask cracked. For the first time, he tried threats. He tried pity. He even tried to twist old photos of me into some fake cheating story. But none of it stuck. 6 weeks later, I walked out with more than half of what he tried to hide. The house sold, but on my terms, he was stuck in debt. The new family he'd planned already crumbling before it began. The last thing I told him in that cold conference room with his mother scowling behind him was just one line. "You thought I'd break." I tested my husband by saying I got fired. But what I overheard next changed everything. When I told my husband I'd been fired, he didn't hug me. He didn't even flinch. He just slammed his laptop shut and hissed, "Of course, you got fired. Maybe now you'll learn your place." I stood, frozen in my work clothes, purse still on my shoulder, staring at the man I'd built my life with. He glared at me like I'd ruined everything, like I was some burden he'd been forced to carry. But here's the truth. I hadn't been fired at all. I'd been promoted. After years of late nights and endless overtime, I was finally stepping into a leadership role that doubled my salary. I wanted to see how he'd react if I came home with bad news, just to know if he'd stand by me when Things got tough. Instead, I saw something darker. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I just stood there and let him rant. He spat words like knives about how I shuffled papers while he built things that mattered. How I didn't contribute anything real. How maybe losing my job would finally humble me. Then, as if he was the victim, he stormed off to sleep on the couch, muttering about how stressed I made him. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Every cold look, every late-night work emergency, every unexplained phone call, they all came rushing back. I remembered how he'd stopped holding my hand in public. How he hadn't kissed me goodnight in months. By sunrise, I knew. Needed proof. The next day, I pretended to be exactly what he wanted. Small, defeated, quiet. I stayed home mourning my fake job loss. Around 2 p.m., I heard the front door unlock. My stomach dropped. Not just him. His mother was with him. I slipped into the hallway and pressed myself against the wall, my heart hammering so loud I was sure they'd hear it. She believes it, his mother whispered. Completely, he said. She thinks she's worthless now. She'll have no choice but to agree to sell the house. Sell the house. The house I'd poured my savings into. His mother laughed this cold, sharp sound that made my skin crawl. I told you she was too ambitious for her own good. Now she's stuck. She fold, he said confidently, like always. I clutched the wall to steady myself. Then his mother asked something that froze my blood. And her. The other woman? He chuckled. She's ready. Once the divorce is final, we'll be a real family. The baby's already calling me daddy. The baby I never knew existed. My knees nearly gave out. My husband of 9 years, was planning to replace me, to take my house, erase me, and build his real family with her. I bit down on my knuckle to keep from gasping. That night, he played his part perfectly. Dim lights, 2 glasses of wine, fake concern dripping from his voice. I think it's best if we both move on, he said softly, like he was doing me a favor. You're not working now. I'll help you get on your feet. Let's just keep it clean. No lawyers. I let my lip tremble. I nodded like I believed him. I let him think I was weak, but at dawn, while he snored on the couch, I dressed quietly, grabbed my files, and drove straight to the best divorce lawyer in town. I came armed. Every receipt, every payment slip, every record of my contributions to that house. Bank statements, text messages, proof of his business trips. That lined up perfectly with hotel charges in another city. When we served him the papers 2 weeks later, I will never forget his face. The mask cracked. First came anger-slamming fists on tables, screaming about betrayal. Then came pity begging me to remember the good times. Then came lies, fake photos, twisted stories, all pathetic attempts to make me look unfaithful. None of it worked. 6 weeks later, it was done. I walked out with more than half of what he'd tried to hide. The house sold, but under my terms. The woman he'd left me for, already threatening to leave him once. She realized his finances were wrecked. The last time I saw him was in that cold conference room. He sat slumped beside his scowling mother, both of them looking smaller than I'd ever seen. I stood, gathered my things, and looked him dead in the eye. "You thought I'd break," I said. Then I walked out, free, and didn't look back. Story to my brother who runs a hotel in Hawaii called me and asked, "Where is your wife?" I replied, "She's on a business trip in New York." He responded, "No, she's at my hotel in Hawaii with another man, and she's using your ATM card." With my brother's help, I made a revenge plan. The next day, my wife called me in panic. Chapter 1. The call that changed everything. It was nearly midnight when my phone buzzed. I was half asleep, tangled in sheets, still believing my wife, Claire, was 3 time zones away on a week-long business trip in New York. She had left 3 days ago, kissed me goodbye at the airport, and texted me that evening. Meetings are intense. Miss you already. So when I saw my brother Daniel's name on the screen, I figured it was a mistake. He ran a boutique luxury resort in Maui. 5-star clientele, constant stress. Calls at this hour were rare. I answered groggy. Danny, his voice, was sharp, direct. Hey, I didn't mean to wake you, but I have to ask, where's Claire? I blinked. What? She's in New York. Business conference? Why? He was quiet for half a second then. No, man, she's not. I sat up. What are you talking about? She checked into my hotel 3 hours ago, he said, slowly. Under her real name, she's here in Hawaii with some guy. They booked the Ocean View suite with your ATM card. My entire body went cold. What does the guy look like? I asked, heart pounding. Tall, muscular, beard. He signed in as Eric Monroe. Does that name mean anything? I gritted my teeth. Oh, it meant something, all right. Eric was one of Claire's coworkers. She'd mentioned him in passing. Funny guy, great at sales, married supposedly. She told me she was going to be in back-to-back meetings all week, I muttered, already throwing off the sheets. She's been sending me pictures of hotel lobbies, restaurants, cocktails. Daniel sighed. You're not the first guy she's fooled. But this time, you've got me. If you want proof, I can help you. My hands were shaking, but my voice was clear. Good, because I don't want to confront her. What do you want? I paused, then whispered, I want to destroy her. And that's how the plan began. Chapter 2. Silent Evidence. I barely slept that night. After I ended the call with Daniel, I sat in the living room for hours, staring at the dark screen of the TV while memories of Claire unraveled in my mind like threads coming loose. The late nights, the sudden emergency trips, the new lingerie she claimed was part of a personal empowerment phase. The guilt-tripping every time I asked about Eric. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I couldn't. If this was going to work, I needed to stay quiet, strategic, ruthless. By 6 a.m., Daniel had already emailed me 3 high-resolution photos. Claire at the hotel bar laughing over a mojito. Claire walking hand-in-hand with Eric near the infinity pool. Claire kissing him just outside the elevator. The same one she and I used during our honeymoon stay at Daniel's hotel 5 years ago. The betrayal stung worse than a knife, but it also hardened. Something inside me. Daniel called again, this time with a plan. I've checked her charges, he said. Room service, spa appointments, shopping trips. She's racked up over $2,000 already, all on your ATM card. Want me to cut her off? No, I replied slowly. Let her keep spending. The more she uses it, the more evidence we have. Daniel exhaled. Got it? What's next? I stood by the window, staring out at the still street below. I need you to send me a full itemized report of everything. Receipts, timestamps, photos, the works. Then tomorrow I'll call the bank and freeze the card. Daniel chuckled. Brutal. She'll be trapped in paradise. With no money and a fake lover. And I added, make sure you upgrade their room. Upgrade, yes. Move them to the presidential suite. Tell them it's complimentary, part of a promotion. I want her to feel like a queen for one more night. Daniel laughed again, this time with admiration. Damn, you're serious about this. Dead serious. And after that, I'll send her the real gift. The real gift. You'll see, I said coldly. By this time tomorrow, she'll be begging to come home. Chapter 3. Panic in Paradise. The next morning, I made the call. Hi, this is Jonathan Wells. I'd like to freeze my ATM card. Yes, the one ending in 9408, lost or stolen. Let's go with stolen. I didn't need to lie. Emotionally, financially, it had been robbed from me the moment Claire checked into that suite in Hawaii under the illusion of a business trip. The bank confirmed the card was deactivated. No further charges could be made. All transactions from the past 3 days were automatically flagged for review. By noon, Daniel texted me. She just tried to pay for poolside drinks, declined. She's freaking out. I could picture it vividly. Claire's sun hat tilted, frozen smile as the waiter quietly told her the card didn't work. Probably laughing it off. Assuming it was a glitch, until the front desk confirmed all cards linked to the account were frozen. An hour later, another message from Daniel. She's at the front desk right now, voice raised. Says it must be a mistake. Eric standing off to the side, awkward, not offering to pay. Then finally, my phone rang. Claire. I stared at the screen as it vibrated. For the first time since this all began, I didn't feel confusion or heartbreak or even anger. I felt control. I answered calm and measured. Hey, sweetheart. Her voice was tight on the edge. John, thank God. Something's wrong with the card. You need to call the bank. Everything's being declined. Oh, I said mildly. That's strange. Weren't you in New York? Silence. What? What? You told me you were in New York business conference, but Daniel says, hi, by the way. Says you look great in the presidential suite. Shame about the company. Her voice cracked. You knew. I know everything, Claire. I know you're in Hawaii. Ah, I know you're with Eric. I know you've been using my money to fund your little beachside. Fairy tale, she let out a gasp, half panic, half anger. I did in single quotes. John, it's not what it looks like. I swear. Save it. Please. Just can you call the bank? My phone's about to die, and Eric's card got declined too. And wow, I cut in. You're stranded in paradise with your affair partner and no way to pay for the suite. Her silence told me everything I needed to know. You made your bed, Claire, I said flatly. You can sleep in it or the hotel lobby, whatever Eric can afford. But, John, I ended the call. That night, Daniel sent me a photo. Claire sitting alone on the edge of the hotel fountain. No sun hat, no smile, just her and a dying phone. Eric nowhere in sight, betrayed by her own betrayal. And that was just the beginning. Chapter 4. The collapse begins. By the next morning, Claire had officially crossed the line from panic to desperation. Daniel called me early, trying and failing not to laugh. She stormed into the front desk like a hurricane. Demanded to know why her suite wasn't comped anymore. Said something about calling the police. Said she was being set up. My receptionist stayed calm and told her the room had to be paid for today or she'd be checked out at noon. Did she pay? A bike? Eric left. I blinked. What? Walked out. Around 6 a.m., bag in hand. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't offer a cent. He looked embarrassed. Of course he did. Eric was a classic opportunist. Probably thought he was getting a free luxury vacation with someone else's wife. But when the bills came due, both literal and emotional, he vanished like smoke. Claire, abandoned and broke in a tropical paradise, was now on her own. I spent the rest of the day calmly executing the next phase of my plan. Called our accountant. Removed her name from all shared business accounts, changed all passwords. Bank, utilities, cloud storage, everything. Filed for separation with my lawyer and requested temporary spousal support. Be denied based on willful marital misconduct. Then came the public piece. Claire was a social media influencer. Small time but obsessed with appearances. Her brand was curated perfection. Power couple photos, elegant dinners, behind the scenes of our busy but loving life. So I sent her a message, not privately. I commented, directly under one of her old couple photos. I hope Eric made the trip to Hawaii worth it. I'll be posting receipts soon. It took about 7 minutes before she deleted the entire account, but it was too late. Daniel had already forwarded me the hotel security footage, and I had receipts, time-stamped photos, and her own texts about the New York business trip. I sent them all to her email with a simple subject line: "Everything you built just collapsed." That night, Claire called again, this time from a borrowed number. "John, please," she said softly. "I need a ticket home." I don't have anyone else to call." "Sure," I replied. "I'll book one right now." Her voice lifted. "Really?" "Absolutely." I smiled. "It'll be a middle seat, red-eye, no checked bags. And when you land, your bags, your apartment key, your access cards, your name on everything will be gone." A pause. "You're not serious." "Oh, Claire," I whispered. "You seriously underestimated who you married." Then I ended the call again, this time for good. Chapter 5. Welcome home, Claire. She landed 2 days later, exhausted, disheveled, wearing the same wrinkled dress she'd arrived in Hawaii with. No luggage, no makeup, no smile. Daniel had kindly arranged her flight using the cheapest ticket he could find. Delayed layovers, middle seat between 2 toddlers, the kind of flight that breaks your body and spirit. I knew her ETA before she even left the island, and I made sure I wasn't there when she returned. Instead, I changed the locks. She stood on the porch for 20 minutes, trying her old key, ringing the doorbell, calling my number non-stop. I didn't pick up. She must have walked around the house, tried the back door, even peeked through the windows. She found the note taped to the front door. "Claire, as of this morning, this property is legally under my sole name. You no longer reside here. For your belongings, check the storage unit listed below. Code 0922. Our anniversary." Ironic, I know. Best of luck rebuilding the life you so eagerly tore apart. John, inside that storage unit was everything she owned. Neatly packed, labeled, and stacked. Clothes, shoes, makeup, her prized vanity mirror, all there except her wedding ring. I had pawned it the day before, the money donated to a women's shelter in her name. And I didn't stop there. Her corporate job, the one she bragged about constantly, had been notified, not by me, but by Eric's actual wife. Apparently, Claire had violated several HR policies by fraternizing with a client, falsifying travelogues, and using company funds. For personal use, I received a text from a mutual friend a few days later. "Dude, Claire's been fired. Completely blacklisted. You weren't kidding when you said she dug her own grave." I didn't reply. Claire, now unemployed, homeless, and ghosted by her affair partner, had no place left to go. She tried calling again, sent a voicemail. "John, I know I messed up, but please, can't we talk? I miss you. I miss us. I didn't mean for it to go this far." I saved the message not to reply, but to remind myself how deep her betrayal had run, and how far I'd come since the moment that phone rang in the middle of the night. Chapter 6. The Final Word. It had been nearly 2 weeks since Claire returned. She'd tried everything: voicemails, texts, emails. She even reached out to my sister, my coworkers, my college roommate. Always the same message: "Please, just one conversation. Just let me explain." But I didn't need her explanations. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was sorry she got caught. Sorry her fantasy imploded. Sorry her backup plan, me, wasn't waiting with open arms. Then came the letter, handwritten, hand-delivered. I found it tucked under my windshield after work one evening. "John, you may not believe me, but what happened wasn't what I intended. It wasn't supposed to go that far. I was confused. I was feeling neglected, unseen. And when Eric paid attention to me, I made a mistake. But I see now what I lost, what I destroyed. Please, can we meet just once? If not to fix things, then to at least say goodbye like real people, not ghosts. I didn't respond right away, but I did meet her in a cafe, quiet and neutral. I arrived 10 minutes early, sat by the window, and waited. She walked in like a shadow of her former self, pale, thinner, hollow-eyed. No more designer clothes, no mask of arrogance, just desperation clinging to her like a scent. She sat down across from me, hands folded. "I'm not here to beg," she began, voice low. "I just wanted to look you in the eye and say, I'm sorry." I let the silence sit. Then I spoke. "I believed in you, Claire. In us, I would have done anything for you. Worked late, paid the bills, supported your career, loved you even on your worst days, but you didn't want a partner. You wanted someone to praise you, to fund your lifestyle, to clean up your messes while you flirted with chaos." Her lip quivered, but she stayed quiet. "You told me you were in New York," I continued. "You were in his bed. You smiled at the camera, while I tucked our future away into your hands. And for what? A thrill. A tan in a stranger's arms." "I was stupid," she whispered. "No, Claire, you were selfish, and selfish people always think the world will wait for them to wake up." I pulled an envelope from my coat and slid it across the table. Inside was the finalized divorce decree. No alimony, no share of my business, no right to the house, just closure. "I'm free," I said calmly, "and now so are you." Her eyes flooded. "You really hate me that much?" "No," I said, standing up. "I don't hate you at all." And I meant it. I had no hate left for her, only indifference. And that was the final blow. Epilogue: I walked out of that cafe lighter than I had in years. Claire moved to a nearby city and started working retail, quietly, anonymously. Word is she lives in a small apartment above a bakery. No more travel, no more followers, no more lies. As for me, I rebuilt. I rebuilt my life, my peace, my future. And someday, when I'm ready, maybe even love again. Because the best revenge was never fire. It was silence and success. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell us what you would have done in the comments below. Like the story, share it with someone who needs this energy, and subscribe to Revenge Exposed for more jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice. Because here, every lie has its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.